feel the music. And so here we are. Now for those, this is going to be the first one on YouTube, so for those of you who aren't aware, our Dream Team contest is now live, so from December 1st through 31st, and supposedly it's the 1st down in Australia, so Heisenberg's jumped the gun a little bit, but we'll forgive him that. Dream Team is 2 teams of designers who were drafted by captains. The captain of the red team is Pithy Dr. G, Dan, and the captain of the blue team is Matt F27. And they both drafted people a couple of months back on a stream, and those designers have now gone away and worked on Discords in the dark, so to speak, with only their own team, like chatting amongst each other. So a lot of these courses are coming out with nobody really knowing what they look like. So that's going to be quite fun, because we get these first reveals of what these courses look like, and we kind of all see them without really knowing, whereas normally in contests you might see quite a lot of work in progress threads, etc. Now, Heisenberg's built this one, and looking at it, 6860, not the longest. Wrong one. We're going to immediately up our fairway firmness to firm, and green firmness can stay. There's a Highlands bug which will do that, and just in case we're going to take crowds off. Now I have asked everyone to submit a form for this, but I'm not sure whether he will have done that yet, so I'm not going to check it just yet. Also, I'm not sure if I really want to be doing that on stream because I faff around quite a bit. So anyway, what we're going to do with these, we're going to play each of these courses. Every single one is going to be the first time I've seen it, which is definitely fun. And so you get kind of my first reactions. These are going to function as the main judging notes for this contest. So individual judges, we've got a really small panel for this one, so panel of 6 really good judges. They won't provide a bulk of notes. Most of those will come. There'll be some based on each matchup when that comes as to why each side won. But the bulk of the critical course playthrough things will come from these playthroughs, from my ones, and if you're following What About Amiob, his as well. So yeah, in terms of Heisenberg, he was in Rookie last year and came out. He tends to come out really early with his courses. He tends to publish early doors and finish probably one of the quickest designers out there. So let's see what we've got. We have now some of his courses you may remember. You may remember he had Rio Villegas, which was the National Treasure one for Argentina, I want to say. Chiang Mai, Thailand was his one for Rookie last year, and he was in World Cup as well, and I can't remember what the course for that was last year. Sattler Heads in CC as well, came second and was a number of people's winner. That was a really tight contest there as well. So this looks like Cape Clements, that's the one, and that was a lovely course. This looks like exactly kind of, when you think about a Heisenberg course, this is what I expect. Like bodies of water, rocky edges, these are like his features. The mountainous terrain as well happens quite a bit. And I'm expecting, yeah, we've got some really cool little off-course bits and bobs here. So, although I'll do a little scout around, that's mainly to show people what they've done. With this, I'm not really looking for anything in terms of judging. It's only really just what we see during the course of play. So yeah, we've got some interesting stuff here. What I'm going to try to do, as ever, is pick up on all the good things. I'm going to try and get through what I think. I'll try and do a lot of what I think is good, as well as things that I see that maybe I would change. Now, that's not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, it's just whatever I see. So yeah, let's go on with this. So, okay. First hole and shortish par 4. Now, I tend to be quite slow on the first couple of holes because after that, most of the stuff I'll say is about the same. Bunkering looks good. We'd maybe like to see your fairway carry around a bit more over here. It strikes me as if we're going out to here, why are we not just cutting the bunker in a little bit more? One other little nitpick. I'm assuming we've got Ben judging bingo coming up soon. I feel like the bunker top lines are quite flat, which I don't know. Yeah, see where that grows on me. Anyway, green looks fun. Heisenberg greens are good. That's a large orange sloped runoff. See how that one plays. I might, don't know, it feels like we've made a large portion of that green unplayable, which like can work, but to be honest it will often just kind of trickle very slowly off there, whereas we could allow a bit more space and then a steeper runoff, or steeper runoff and then it runs you to there and then you've got to putt back up and over. Just long slopes don't tend to work quite so well for me. Aesthetics look really, really good. I like the choice of trees. This little waste bunker area is really cool. I think you always feel with Heisenberg that they're immersive. Bit of it narrows in terms of what we're going for, but with the elevation change and the wind, I think we can probably clear it. Angle-wise, I guess it depends on where the pin is, because that spine's really going to come into play. I'm going to hit down this side and hopefully we're alright. Now I think we're going a little bit stuttery on the stream. Yeah, I'm going to tone graphics down just a touch, because whilst it won't, I'll play this multiple times, I know it looks good, but just so that the stream is working nice and smoothly. So everything going hard this way. I don't know that I love the green shape, just in the sense of like, green's shaped like this. I'd kind of want a reason as to why we're not putting green there, rather than just we decided to cut it in here. Either I'd mound that bit up even more. Like here, this slope is very subtle. If you made that into more of a ridge, I think that would also define your bunker a little bit more. And bring it into that and give some ups and downs. Or just cut green through there, I think would be, personally, I think would work a little better. But I do like this as an opener, I think it works nicely. And you could have laid up. Oh, that's all on me. Pin's on a little bit of a saddle, which, provided we're not overusing it, is cool. Now the only thing I don't have that would be on the form is difficulty level that was intended. So the questions on the form we've asked everyone is like, what rough difficulty are you targeting? You don't want people to just be hammered for making a difficult course when that was what they were trying to do. Now, Heisenberg's a better player. I want to say he's on Elite or Platinum, can't remember which. But he also did very well on the CC, so I think we'll just judge as we go. Again, all sorts of like cool little slopes here that will dictate how it plays. That's probably ending up in that little punch bowl. Do you like the big lake back there? I also quite like, now it might seem a little unnatural, but I like having the high tier here, just in that it forces you to really go for this side rather than run it down. I think we can bump it into that little ridge and hopefully take some of the pace off it. Yeah, works nicely. Love the little bridge in the background, that's a really cool look. I don't know what I make of these trees up here. I really like these ones, the denser foliage, that feels really normal and natural. These ones, a little less so. Hey Wes. But yeah, that view back over the rest of the course where you see all of those holes, that's like Heisenberg stuff we know and love. Same with this, like, I feel he does climbing holes really well. Like, 28 feet of elevation doesn't look that much because it's done really gradually. That bunker's really cool. Love that. Just like a little pit thing. Actually, this one too. And there's a lot of width, but given how much it cambers off, like, you don't want to be too far this way. You do want to be challenging this bunker, which I think works well. With this wind, that's not ideal. We'll start in the middle of the fairway. What happens? What clubs do I want to play test with? I would always play test with the 295 driver, just because if that's the longest anyone's going to use, you want to make sure that they can't blow it over every single bunker. But you also cannot just put hazards at 295 or 290 everywhere, so that either only they can carry it or it's like pinching at exactly that point. So just vary where your hazards are a little bit, but make it interesting for that driver length. This is a really awkward little shot. There's some of these green slopes that I don't love as much. They're like, this is quite a long green with quite a big footage, but there's so much of it that's just unplayable. I think here is gone, here is gone. Here I'm okay with because that feels like a genuine fall off. Here it feels like the fall off starts here, but it just runs forever and ever. Because like we can't put a pin anywhere for here, really. Feel we can do that. We can accomplish the same thing slightly differently. Oh, I'm not good with this sort of elevation. Yeah. This is a tricky shot, even from the middle of the fairway. I love that little mound just short of the green, though. Let's see. I mean, we're on the green. Uphill part. Definitely a more sort of challenging green than what we'd have been used to. Oh, that's short, isn't it? Yeah, enjoying this. Yeah, I think most of it's the highest, like longest ones. Pretty typical. Just because you want to know where people can hit it to. Interesting. Really like the little view to that flag. I love that that's where you put this flag for this tee. Okay, and sorry, we are back. Little one waking up, apologies for that. I guess my question with this one is, can you always make this carry? 265, 260 driver into wind, probably not, and then you're probably laying up with 3 wood way back here. Might be a bit tight if you can't quite lay up, but I don't think I mind it. And in this wind it doesn't really matter. Didn't really look at where the rest of the hole was going, which is a bit of a faux pas. So now we've got a big camber hitting into... This is a fun approach shot. I think again, like, I'm just not... You probably could. But then you're going way over this way and you're coming in on that angle and away down this slope. I don't think you're gaining anything if you're coming in from... If you're coming in from over there, you're also running down this way. I don't think you're gaining anything going that direction. But maybe. That'll be one we have a little look at next time we play it. I just feel like these green slopes are really close and they're just not quite where I want them to be. So like here, I'd love this big slope to be pulling the ball back in towards this pin. Instead it just feels like it's going to push it that way. Which, great for a pin down there, but even then that's a huge slope that's probably kicking us off. Let's try and... combination of wind and slope means it's probably staying about the same. Yeah, it's not worked out too badly. Great little view over the other green as well. I assume that's the second that we'd already played. Ah, rubbish putt. Oh, okay, we have a lot of choices here. Is this all? No, this is not one hole. Is this stream coming back? Are we not live now? Or as in for other courses? I will do one of these for every single course that gets released for this contest. Yeah, I thought we were live. I'm confused. Thanks, Axel. I think, so far, the thing I'm liking the most about this course is like these little sandy pits and crevasses and like this like natural area here that's just all really wild. I think this bit works really nicely. Kind of wish I could see a bit more of that stream, but yeah, I don't think it's... you couldn't have disrupted the land to do it. Okay, there's a lot going on this hole. Let's work out what we're doing. Yeah, kind of have the same thought on the green shape here. Like, I don't really get why we're coming in here when we could just make it like a slightly straighter shape. Not kind of more of a traditionalist with green shapes unless we've got any real reason to go around them. So if that there was a mound right here, then kind of cutting around it makes sense. Short par 4, so all sorts of options, and I still don't know where I want to hit it, which is nicely done. So we cut out here. We can hit it there, but then we've got a pitch over that and we're blind. Don't really want that. Very 11-ish. Probably 3 wood here, leaves full wedge in. That's, I think, the play. Except we've hit a really bad 3 wood and... yeah. Could have seen that happening. Yeah, he's done a good job. Oh, carry a little. Don't hit a downslope and fly on. That's gone okay. And we've got a cool little town in the background. Ugh. Whoops, that's absolutely flown. Forgotten I'm no longer playing on those 160 odd greens. Thanks, buddy. Oh my. Okay, we've gone to a huge green here with all sorts of interesting contours. And a lot of fairway apron. I feel like scaling has gotten just a little off on this one. And also, the fact that we go way over here kind of, it takes away from these bunkers, particularly if, like, I almost think it's a pin thing. This is pin 3, or pin 4, or pin 2 or something, I'd be fine with it. I think pin 1, you want somewhere where you're bringing these bunkers at least a little into play. I don't know. I mean, in my mind, all of the par 3s at Whistling Straits look exactly the same. I do like these bunkers, though. I think they work really well. It's just why I'd like them brought in a little bit more. Do you have a backstop we can use? The village is crazy good. Ah. Felt that coming as well. Cheers, Matt. Have a good evening, buddy. I'm just trying to think. I think the bright colours work well. I don't think it's my favourite colour palette, but it's interesting and it's different, and I think overall that's a plus. That wasn't too bad of a putt. That one was. Back we go to level par. Oh, okay. Just trying to think. Have we had centerline bunkers before? I think we used. Because I really liked this as like a central hazard. I'd kind of like to see that again. They're like pot-like centerline bunkers as well. I don't know. Gonna see how we go. Oh, it's forcing an awkward decision. And yeah, this is clearly meant for a higher sort of difficulty level than I can attain. Yes, Charlie. Let's keep drawing. Let's pretend we want to play. We'll pretend we want to play left of that bunker. That's fine. Exactly as intended. And now I have an awful angle in over towards this. This is a Dylan Monterey pin. Okay, I think my previous comments on the greens, I'm now starting to understand a little bit more. They're just meant to be much more difficult. Are we? Big old kicker slope here. Just in terms of sculpting, it feels like I really like the kicker slope and the way it works. It's just pretty much dead flat on top of it. I feel like we could do some more land movement around it, which would make it feel a bit more at home. Hey, Jay. We have our first Dream Team course, so we're having a little look at that. I think I'm probably gonna try and take it in using that. But I'm not expecting this to work, especially not with the slow. Well, shit. Okay. Well, this is a hell of an interesting shot. I think that approach shot is my favourite one so far. I'll go in. That's so undeserved. I've hit 2 genuinely awful shots. I mean, this village stuff is quality. And like each of them is really creative as well. Like, they're propped up on sticks and things. Right, just give me 1 second. Because I didn't even think you could levitate these things. I thought the clubhouses did the auto flatten. Or have they? And he's just put walls around them and things. Oh my. This is impressive. That's a hell of a clubhouse. That's really cool. And it's positioned in such a way that it makes you want to go and take a look. It's not like just like, you know, how I do with clubhouses. Yeah, I think I said this on the first hole. Like, if you've got your bunker here, I'd love to see you encouraging people to go really close to it. Like, okay, we're dropping down a few feet here. Feel like we can probably cut fairway over some of it. Same with up here. Like, I don't really see a reason why we wouldn't be able to cut fairway down here. I think it just makes it a better hole. It encourages people to play down that side for the angle, whereas it just feels a touch too tight. Although if we're aiming for plat, then maybe. I don't know. Clubhouse is ridiculous. Let's try and hit it down this side, and if we hit the bunker, fine. Okay, so it does kind of camber into this little chute, I guess. There's a bit more forgiveness there than maybe you think. Up 31. So what, playing 100 and a bit? Oh, sit down. Ah. Yeah, I really like that slope. That feels to me like a really, like, that's potentially really helpful, and also like where I am, I've just completely stitched myself. Yeah, deep bunkers are great. There's been quite a mix of bunker styles on this course. I think those are my favourites of them, the little, like the proper cavern ones. Ah, and that's all from that approach shot. And a really well crafted green where you just could not go long. Come back to the clubhouse thing on 8. Oh, I don't know. Let's just enjoy it. Okay, big split fairway. Big funky green. Well, I mean, we can definitely clear it. So I presume for different pins you're going to want to be in different places. You're going to assume there's one there, one there, one there. There. This one we do want to carry all the way over here. Oh, that's an odd swing. Let's try it from over here. So if you made the completely wrong decision, this is how screwed you are. Huh. Now the only thing I was going to say about this pin is, given the pin we've just had, you've just had one right at the front. We've now got another one right at the front, which is kind of prompting the same thing of like, you get to this side, don't go too long, etc. So I might want to vary that just a touch. There's a shot. -2 for the front line, I'm not too disappointed with. What if you split fairways as well? Which I don't think is a bad thing. Because actually you've done them in different ways. Could be, could be. Right, come on. Come on, wind, push us round. There we go. Ah, for sure that was going to turn away from there. Slightly tamer green. I do like the visual of how this swoops in here a little. Might be tempted just to lift up this side of the bunker just a touch more. So it's really menacing. Although, yeah, I think I would. Water planting's really nice. I mean, planting generally is really nice. I feel like that's a given. Totally miscalculated. Oh no, it's done well. Done way better than it had any right to. Yeah, pushed it. Oh, this is a lovely look. I'm trying to work out why I like this so much. I think it's because it's obviously still consistent, but it does feel like we've entered a slightly different part of the course where it's a bit more closed in. I think that's kind of much needed variety. Good amount of helper slopes as well, but you've got to hit a really good shot. Bunker sculpting is good. It could be dropped just a touch in places. Smoothed out, but bunker layering is fantastic here. Later, Alan. Well, that is not where we wanted to go. But this is kind of what this is a perfect example of what I've been meaning about the green shapes. Here makes complete sense as to where you put your green, because there's a giant slope and we wouldn't cut it over here. Although we kind of have done here, but like I get it. Here I think it makes sense. I would probably still mound this bit up a little more, but it makes sense. No, well I think JC has just published his, so we'll see whether we can get around on that tonight. It's kind of depending on we've had our boy's been up a couple of times already, which is why I've had to pull the B right back up. So it depends whether he's still sleeping or not. I think one of my big takeaways is just there's a lot of variance of bunker style. I kind of would like a little more consistency. Green site here is phenomenal. Love that. And actually, these last two holes have been probably my favourite looks off the tee because it's been a little bit flatter and like more treed in. And the variety's been good. That's really helped. Go on. Let's see if we can carry it up there. Also, the rocks feel like they've just come on and made their way on the course, and they've been a really cool little element. Like those add a little more. Well, I guess the obvious word is texture. Cool little custom bridge. Is that a custom bridge or is it just a? It is. Lots of effort on this course. just a dreadful part. Didn't realise it was that far downhill. Stupid bogey. But yeah, these sort of like little pit bunkers with the rocky texture behind them works really nicely. Great view down this side. Oh, we got a very wide hole. Just feel like scaling's gotten away a touch on a few of these holes. Like some of them are quite cramped and narrow, and some of them just go really sprawling and wide. And possibly a bit too much splitting it around about the driver distance. Yeah, I'm kind of saying the same things. Lots to, and I mean the obvious thing should be that there's loads here to like. Ah, not that tee shot there. Or in the bunker. See? We have a chance. Isn't it? There's some really cool bunkering. Go on, make it over. Needed one more club. Not sure this is the right play. Hilly. And yet we're probably going to bogey. Hates it. Again, this little village complex thing, I don't really know what it is, but I really like it. Actually, now that I'm seeing the browns and the yellows from this side, I do like them. I think it works well. Oh, back to even par. Well, there is a pin. Dear Lord. Okay, we're not going near that one. Awesome little par 3. Love the little rickety bridge down there. That's cool. Setting here is great. That green looks scary as hell from back here. I mean, not good. But we're not going near that pin. It's just... Yeah, I know, right? This has got to be a plat course, surely. Just make it over. Oh, just wanted to tiptoe it over. That's really annoying, having not made the mistake of the tee. Just played to the centre of the green. That's a really good par 3. An absolute fucker, but that's also exactly the sort of par 3 that I think Reeb makes and works really well when he does it. Ooh. This is a nice little change up. So here we got narrow, skinny. Okay. Just a hybrid works. Somewhere down the middle, leave a little pitch up. What have I done wrong? Not an easy shot. Got a bit of backstop. I mean, that's what we've done wrong. At least we have an uphill part, I guess. Just a dreadful shot. Had the line as well. Frustrating. That was doable, and we're +1. I think I've said it a couple of times. I think the scaling just goes a couple of times on this course with the like occasionally it feels super wide and occasionally it feels super narrow. And I'm not sure we need to mix the two quite as much. And then again, I'm thinking thinking also, like, that's something I really want to try and vary a little bit more in my own designing, like rather than going every fairway is so wide and what have you. But I think these are kind of veering between extremes a little much. Rocky backdrop is awesome. And the little bird there is just perfect. This stuff is so good. I mean, that's the thing. For every one thing I say I might do differently, there's like 20 things on this course that I just cannot do. Awesome stuff. And for all it's a wide fairway, doesn't mean it's an easy shot. Oh, it didn't even go right at all. Got a bounce in for me. Well, that's also not the miss. Pretty good stuff. That's a really cool looking par 3. Again, this bunkering, superb. Green is funky, loads of interesting slopes on it. I think they work for the most part. Would kind of almost like to see you, again, you see where this little line is tracing around here. We drop this part back to about here, where you've got a little pinning plateau on the back. I think that would be a really, really tough pin position on this sort of a hole. Because at the moment that's a non-option, so we're making there to there completely unpinnable, and pretty much all of this part of the green we can't go near. Oh, I'm never good with wedges into wind. Especially not when we do that. Let's go check out that bunker. I don't know. At least we're okay. How many spines are we putting over? All of them. There? And this is just a guess. I'm not disappointed with that. Rock and water work there is sublime. Hell of a view. Love that. Oh, we're not breaking par, Axel. I'm the last. I mean, big wide fairway. Relatively accessible pin, but dead into wind. Ain't happening. Yeah, don't love the mound making us super blind. I mean, we're into wind, but then again, like, it's a linksy course. You get these. I'm not. I take it back. I'm not bothered. Where do we want to end up? I don't really think it matters too much. And then, come on, let's get it back to 1 at least. That's not a bad shot. And where have we ended up? Yeah, right back where we started, near the cool little clubhouse. That's the most deserved part. So there we go. That's Heisenberg's Dream Team course, the Tributary. Really good. Like things that I liked. The creativity is outstanding, as you'd expect. Planting looks great. There's really cool stuff with the hole designs. There's a lot going on. As you can see from the screenshot, the aesthetics are top notch. Technical work is very good. There's a few things I might clean up, just like with bunker shaping and sculpting. Um, and I feel the fairways look a touch flattened in spots, as well as like those green like shapes I would count under maybe technical stuff as well. In terms of things that and I thought the whole designs were really creative and made me think. Like everything was not done purely to look good. There was a thought process to it, and I hit a wide variety of shots, and it wasn't always hit driver was the best reward, which I like, as you know. What might I have changed? I feel there's just a bit too much going on in terms of bunker variety. I'd have lost the centerline bunkers on that par 5, because I think actually the way you were doing it with working those little trenches in, that was better, and it fitted the course theme and style more neatly. Those like really deep pit bunkers looked amazing. More of those. Probably try and split fairways a little less, because it's kind of a either you can or you can't. Even though I know plat guys can mess with really bumping up driver to 105 or whatever, but yeah, I think maybe relying on that a little less would be cool. And then the only other thing would be the green slopes, and just occasionally let's try and have a bit more of the green playable rather than it all running off. But again, that might be a plat thing, and it will be something that when I'm going back and playing the course again for judging, that'll be one of the things I'm really looking at and going, and also reading your form for judging as well, and seeing, well, actually, how exactly does that work. But yeah, as ever, those are just notes on first time playthrough. I will give it another couple of plays as part of judging. There'll be parts of that stick, parts of that that don't. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. I'm going to cut the stream there. I'm going to be back in hopefully a couple of minutes with JC's course. If I'm not back in a couple of minutes, it's because I'm going to have to go and put the little one back to bed. See you shortly, maybe.